The couple I'm getting ready to announce, to introduce, I should say, I'm just going to say, folks, they're what we call a power couple, okay? They have 25 years full-time in the industry, and they have brought in over $200 million in revenues with their prior company. They've been married for 37 years with 3 incredible boys. Now think about this, folks. When they were forced to walk away from their one and only company they spent for 25 years, they had the luxury of choosing, literally, folks, whatever company they wanted, and they choose LifeVantage. So think about that for a second. They already have accumulated over $500,000 in sales to date with LifeVantage in their first 7 months. And check this out. More importantly, 700 customers are on monthly subscriptions. You know, so I want all of you to get to know who they are. They're brand new to the company. Jill and I are honored to be a part of their group. So I want to, welcome April and Bob Wagner to the webinar this morning. You guys hear me okay?
We can. Thank you. I'm sure you can hear us. We can hear our group clapping inside. We're in a separate room, obviously, but you know what? We are just, this is actually an opportunity where we were undersold and over-delivered hugely. I mean, you and Jill, anytime I text Jill, she gets right back with the answer. You guys are quick. Just so perfect. But the corporation, we are just blown away by everything that is going on and how fast we're able to build and just all the tools that this company has. But I think the biggest thing that you all have going on here is everybody works together. You don't ever go in a room and say this is their group or this is their group. Everybody is sharing everything that they know. And so it just makes it so that we can all build our businesses that much faster. And so, we're evidence of that. And we're just thrilled with the decision that we made. It was kind of a God thing, and that's a long story. And I felt like LifeVantage was really put in our laps, and just really, really thrilled with what's going on with us. And we got to Pro 7 this month, so we're super, super excited about that. Yeah. But Bobby's actually going to tell you how we did it and how we actually accelerate the end of the month. And I know you were surprised by some of the figures that we put in on that last day. And, we never put anything off to the next day. We work that last day like it's the last day ever. Because that is just so and so important with your business. And the next day, the first, is another day. So I'm going to let Bobby train on how to do that. And thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, April. Bob, how are you?
Hey, buddy. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I've got my notes. I've got everything ready. So let it roll, baby.
All righty. I just want to share screen. So let me just confirm that.
Okay.
When we were talking, one of the things that April and I have always, talked about in our journey since we joined LifeVantage is that we had certain skills that we had learned in our other business, and but we didn't want to do what we had done in the past. We wanted to take the skills that we had and apply it to what LifeVantage had done and was doing. We wanted to build what you were building, not build what we had done in the past, because the bottom line is 7 months ago, the company closed. The family that owned the company just made a decision to close. So it didn't matter what we had done in the past. We wanted to duplicate what you guys were doing and just use the skills that we had attained in that time to do that. So, we really remind ourselves on a regular basis that, it's very important that, that when we get up in the morning, we don't get into our old trap. You know what I mean? That we do it the old way. We want to use our work ethic and skills and stuff that we have, but we want to do it LifeVantage's way. We want to do it the way, you and Jill and Dr. Harris had done things. We want to do it the way Darren is talking about it. We want to do it the way Dave Fleming has been sharing with us, and so what I want to do is, and I like to use baseball analogies, as you know. We're a baseball family, and if everyone would just keep our son Chad in their prayers next week, we're hoping he gets drafted, to play professionally. But he became a Pro 5 last month, Gabe. As we became 7, he became 5. And what I want to talk to everybody about today is what happened in the last 30 days that was different than the 30 days before. Because a month ago, me and April, we were really, really pissed. And the reason we were pissed is the month closed out at $95,550. And we were $4,500 short. And in my mind, we should have been Pro 7 last month. But there was a reason why we didn't. And what we did, and April mentioned this before, we evaluated what went on for that month day by day, the month before, and looked at what could we have done different personally. And that always comes first, to the listeners out there. What you do personally always comes first before you can be demanding of your team. You got to be leading by example. You got to speak with authority. You got to be an authority on what you're doing. And, personal responsibility comes first. If you're not recruiting, if you're not putting people on, you're not necessarily going to be able to talk to people the way they need to be talked to sometimes so that they can achieve their ranks and goals that they talk about wanting and having a desire to achieve. So when last month ended and we were only at 95,000, we started looking, okay, that stinks. And I'm sorry, but it did stink. Okay. That was, we wanted to be Pro 7 in 6 months, not 7 months. And when we don't hit our goals, we do serious evaluating. I mean, it's, so we looked at, okay, well, one of the reasons why we didn't hit it, if you look right here, see the number 1, okay? Well, we didn't recruit that month, okay? We didn't get any business in, okay? Where this month we did, okay? We had 8 new people that went in. And because of the 8 new people that we enrolled, when we were getting down to the end of the month, we had $3,500 in volume in our holding tank that we were able to share with different parts of the group so that they could reach the ranks that they were trying to reach, and it wasn't a freebie, it wasn't a gift. It was just like, hey, we can help you out, man. I know you talked about being Pro 3 or Pro 4 or Pro 2, and we got 8 different ways we can divvy up this pie and help you out. But here's what we do every day, Gabe. When we get up, we look at what the volume is, and I'd like the folks out there to think about, you own a business, okay? And you own a business like a McDonald's, okay? And again, we're in the health business, not the fast food business, but I want you to think about your business like a McDonald's and try and imagine this. Would McDonald's ever open up for business and not expect to do any business that day? I mean, it as ridiculous as that sounds, but that's how we look at our business. I'm like, wait a second. We own this anti-aging business. We are in this nutrigenomics business. We have the only product of its kind in the world. How in the world could you ever justify being open for business and having the day end and you didn't do any business? See, to us, that's ridiculous. You cannot do that, but you can only take on the position that is ridiculous if you personally are doing business. Now, we were sharing that Dave Fleming called last night, and we were talking a little bit about some stuff. And we shared, it's 7 months now, and we've personally sponsored 50 people. And he says, that's really good. And I said, is it? I said, I don't know. I said, I guess it's okay, 50, that's an average of 7 a month. But I said, honestly, April and I think it stinks. We just think we can do better than that. There's 2 of us. This is a twofer. There's 2 of us and we're full time. So one of the things we're looking at is we want to do better personally. We want to do business personally, because one of the things we really enjoy about the business is when we get down later in the month, it's nice to say you're available to help people and be available for webinars and Zooms and 3-way calls and texting and all that stuff. That's nice, okay? But you know what's even nicer? To be able to be a part of the volume that's needed to help them achieve. And the bond and the relationship that happens when you are really involved in their business and you really help make it happen, it just develops a camaraderie and a loyalty that's priceless. So let me go this way. There's 2 things that April and I are always looking at. We want to make sure that more people enroll in the business this month than did last month. Okay? You never, ever, ever want to go backwards. So whatever the number was last month, and I'll show you. Okay, so last month, 127 new people joined our business. This month, 141 people joined our business. So we were up about 11, 12%. Okay, so that's good. We want to be up 20, 25%. So we got work to do, but it's a good thing. And then we monitor the volume, okay, every day. Okay, and I'm just going to click through this, and we just keep monitoring, and we want to make sure the volume on the 5th of the month, okay, is more than the month before. And then every day, we want the volume higher than it was the equivalent of the month before. And for those of you out there, around the world listening, I don't know if I'm going to say this exactly correct, but LifeVantage was up approximately $5 million in business this past quarter over the same quarter the year before. So they talk about this, okay? They're comparing their numbers to an equal period of time. So April and I, we're just doing this in a mini form on a day-to-day basis, okay? We want to be ahead of the 6th from last month to the 6th this month. We want to be ahead from the 7th to the 7th. So we monitor those numbers closely, and here's why. Not so that we can go out and beat up on our team, okay? Not that we can go out and bark. We need to know if we need to be doing more business personally. We need to know if we need to ramp up our enrolling of customers, our recruiting of distributors. It's about leading by example. And the one thing that we always took pride in our other company was that you could never ask of others what you weren't doing yourself. And and especially in the beginning in this business, your first few years in, hey, what the foundation you're building in this business stays with you for a lifetime. And you got to get that foundation set up right. And, one of the things I thank, Gabe and Jill about sharing with us, and they said, look, you guys want to be Pro 10s. We get it. Okay. Make sure you're working with 5 or 6 lines, not 3. Leave yourself some margin for error. You never know what's going to happen. And when those percentages, whether it's the 60-30-10 or the 40-40, 10-10, whatever it is, you want to be in a position where that doesn't matter. And when you hit the volume, you hit the rank. Okay, and make sure, and they're speaking from experience, and I love that. Okay, that's why we chose them and their team, to be our sponsors in the business, because we want to speed it up, we want to learn from people that did it, and we want to do it faster. Okay, and the way you do it faster is learning from what's already been done and taking the skills that you have available and using them and applying it, not changing the way things are done, but applying the skills you bring to the table to the things that are being done and working. So here's what it boiled down to with us, okay? When we got down near the end of the month, okay, I want you to look at this number. We closed out at 95.5 last month. The day before, we were at 90, okay, right over here, okay? Here's the problem. okay? Going into the last day, we needed to go 6 for 6, or we needed to bat 1,000. Now, let me ask you something. What do I mean by that? The groups that we were working with, the business that we had in the works, what we were hoping and wishing and praying would close, we only had about 6 different things in the works. And for us to hit 100, they all would have needed to happen. Now, folks, whether you're a sports fan or not, let me ask you a question. What are the odds of going 6 for 6 in anything that you do? Okay, so when we looked at that, we were not happy. Okay, we were very aggravated about it. And when we went into the new month, we said, okay, this ain't gonna happen. And all month long, as we were comparing numbers, okay, I wanna show you something. We had Memorial Day weekend in here, and that's where there's a lull in the action. You look, the numbers don't change much, okay? We weren't even worried about it when we fell behind 2,900, 5,600, 4,400. I wasn't worried. I think Gabe was a little worried about it, okay? But we weren't worried about it, and here's why, okay? We knew going into the last day that we had about 30 things in the works between our teams in California, in Texas, in Chicago, in DC, our wonderful team in the Netherlands and Germany. Okay, with all of those things going on, we knew we only needed to go 10 for 30, or in a baseball analogy, we only needed to bat 333. And that is very, very likely to happen. Okay, and in the last day, you will see from the day before to the last day last month, we did 5,000 in business, okay? From the last day here in May to the 31st, not only we had an extra day, that's huge, okay, we took advantage of that, but we were up $13,000. We did $13,000 in the last day, and that was a non-shipping day. That wasn't an auto ship day. You know, we did $13,000, our team did $13,000 in business on the last day, and we ended up with 105,000 instead of 100, so we blew past it. And we ended up with 141 new people versus 127. Our monthly subscriptions increased from 49,000 a month to 56,000 a month. And, you know, April and I just, you know, shared that, hey, you know, even today, first day in, 1,600 is on the books and 6 new people are in the business. And we're getting texts from Holland and all over the country of what's in the works. You know why? Look at this number. Remember I said there were 30 things in the works, about 10 of them happened, and those 10 created the 13,000 in business that put us at 105. Well, do you think the 20 things that didn't happen are gone? Or did they just carry into June? See, that's where we made a mistake the month before, and we corrected it this month. So what I want to share with you folks is that, you know, this is a habit thing, okay? It's work ethic. And look, April and I, you know, we're obsessed with this business. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, we're absolutely obsessed, but we don't do it 24 hours a day. You know, we take advantage of all the different things that the business offers and the benefits it offers, but we are available to do business and help people all hours of the day, okay? In other words, we have no rules. Anything goes. We were at a baseball game last night. My son's friends were playing summer ball, collegiate summer ball here in Florida, and one of the families that we met during the regular season when college was still going on was down here. Their kid was playing, went over, and April got them started in the business. We had gotten them, you know, using the products while they were during the regular season, and we actually got them started in the business last night, and it's during a ball game, okay? She just signed them up and got them their product, whatever, right during the game. See, anything goes when the business is in your heart and you want to help your team and you care about others, anything goes. But here's how we trained ourselves to be this way. And I was sharing this with Gabe the other day. It's a new habit. And the new habit is this. It's your work ethic. It's not accepting, not doing business every day. You got to learn and make sure that your business runs like McDonald's. You open for business in the morning, and you should expect new business to be in before you go to bed that night. And it takes 21 days to create a new habit, just like going to the gym. It really, really hurts in the beginning. Then it feels okay. And then if you don't do it, it starts hurting again. So you go from hurting to feeling good to hurting. Well, what April and I had to go through is we had to go through the hurt of missing the Pro 7 and then getting ourselves into the routine of what we needed to do to be Pro 7. And then once we hit it, okay, immediately set our sights on the Jeep and Pro 8. Okay, and we enjoyed Pro 7 for the evening that it happened. And then it was back to work the next day because his Pro 8 is next and the Jeep is next. And all it is, folks, it's a new habit. That's all you got to do. Get past that first 2-3 weeks, 21 days of checking your number in the morning and taking personal responsibility for that's important, okay? Personal responsibility for that number being higher at the end of the day. You enroll someone. You sign up a new distributor. Get in the habit of doing that. Our high month so far, and we will beat this number, but our high month so far is 14 enrollees. Our low month is 3. And over the course of 7 months, it's been 50. So it's an average of 7 a month. Well, we want to take that up to an average of 10 and an average of 15. But like I said, between the two of us, I just think that number can dramatically increase. So like anything new that you do, this is a habit. And if you don't know where you are, then you don't know where you're going. So if you don't know what your number is this morning, you're not even going to know if it matters tonight, okay, before you go to bed. And that's the new habit that we have developed. And we learned this in our other company. It's not something we learned here, but we made the mistake of not applying it here. And I'll tell you what threw us off, okay? I'll use a baseball analogy to end this, okay? Here's what threw us off. We got thrown off with the auto ships on the 5th, 10th, 15th, 20th, and 25th. That's a blessing and a curse, okay? Here's why. It's the coolest thing in the world to wake up and see like a zillion orders went out while you were sleeping, okay? I mean, there is nothing cooler than that. But there's false security in that, okay? And here's the thing. I used to always tell my son, Chad, okay, April and I, we traveled all over the world with him playing baseball as he was young, and he's the one we hope gets drafted next week. But we always would tell him this, whenever he had a practice with his team, okay, whether it was travel ball or junior high or high school or whatever, or college for that matter, whenever he had a practice with the team, we'd say, how did it go? And he'd say, great. How'd you hit? Great. Everybody do good? Yep, everybody did good. All 25, 30, yep, everybody did. So I said, good, so everybody's equal, right? Nobody separated themselves from anybody else. It's all the same. Everybody's the same. And he said, what do you mean? And I said, here's what you need to do. And I'll use the analogy comparing it to multi-level marketing. I said, Chad, the only way you're ever going to get better is by the things you do when nobody's looking. In other words, it's what you do above and beyond the group practice and the team practice and all that. Well, think about this, folks, in multi-level marketing. Don't we love those big meetings, those elite academies? Don't we all feel really, really good, okay, after that? And we love our monthly meetings and we love our weekly meetings and we're all gathered together and we're all doing the same thing at the same time. Well, is that growing your business? Those are necessities to build your business, but what matters in this business is what you're doing when nobody's looking. The same thing as a ball player. See, he got better because he started putting extra hours in the gym, extra hours in the cage, extra time, and he separated himself talent-wise. Well, in this business, you build your business based on what you're doing on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, not on the 5th. On the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, not on the 10th. On 11, 12, 13, 14, not the 15th. You see what I'm saying? If you want your business to go from 49,000 in auto ships to 56,000 in auto ships. It's what you do on the days other than the auto ships. That's how you create it. That's how you build it. And that's how you get ahead. And I'm out of time here. I could go on forever about this because we just absolutely are obsessed and love it. And Gabe, it is a God thing that we're in this company. You ever want the long story, call us or talk to Dave Fleming. He will tell you. We had never heard of LifeVantage and we had never heard of ProTandem. And we had a lot of options when our other company closed. And God dropped this one in our lap and we are so thankful. And I'm going to throw it back to you. Thanks for having us today.
Awesome. Well, I tell you what, that was just incredible. And I've got a lot of great notes. I wanted to say congratulations on hitting Pro 7. That's a huge, monumental, step with LifeVantage. I know it's a drop in a bucket for you guys the way you think. I appreciate that. But I mean, that's a big deal. Congratulations. And while I'm talking, can you turn off your shared screen, because the next guest speaker is going to be using it as well. Okay. Folks, I've got some great nuggets. Okay. I tell you what, for the last 25 minutes, you were he was oozing with phenomenal expertise in this industry. And I wrote down some incredible nuggets I want you to be thinking about. And write this down, everybody. Never put anything off to the next day. And I'm going to say that again. Never put anything off to the next day. I mean, how serious are you with your business? Think about that. I mean, you see how serious they are with their business. They're so meticulous when it comes down to the numbers. And they're treating this business like a multi-million-dollar business, okay? Not like a, $350, $650, or $1,250, investment. It's incredible. You need to lead by example first before you go out and support and help people. And I'm going to say that again. You need to lead by example first, okay? Because people are going to do what you're doing, all right? They had 3,500 in the holding tank, and they look at this for 30 days to be able to help the teams that are beating to their drum at the same pace that they're working on to be able to help their team rank advance. And that's one of the major contributing reasons why they were able to get to Pro 7. How can you open up a business and not do business each day? I mean, he used the McDonald's analogy. I think that was great. Two things that they look at: more people enroll in a business this month than last month, all right? And they monitor their volume daily. Their subscription, their auto ships is the gauge. So now they're looking at the Jeep, okay? And the last thing that I want you to be thinking about before we introduce the next speaker is near the end of the month, do you want to have to go 6 for 6? Do you need those 6 people to close to achieve your goal? Or do you want to have 30 possibilities and not sweat and close, 33% of it? That's how they were able to just fly right by Pro 7 and moving already in the direction of Pro 8. So folks, I tell you what, you need to watch, Bob and April, in action, and start with this recorded training to kind of help you gauge where your business is. And don't worry about the numbers, where their numbers are compared to your numbers, and just start beating to that same drum on everything that he just taught us. That was incredible.